Registered Phenomena Code 041. Object Class Gamma Yellow. Hazard Types: Grouped Hazard, Sensory Hazard, Ideological Hazard, Geological Hazard, Tychokinetic Hazard. Containment Protocols. Instances of RPC-041 are to be handled with extreme care. Recovered instances are to be placed in shock-proof phone line containers and transferred to OL Site-41 for processing. Object processing procedures can be found in Document P-041-11. After processing, instances are to be laminated with a layer of polyvinyl butyryl 0.3 cm thick, and then packed between two 10 cm thick foam sheets. Packed instances are housed at Site-004 in a containment chamber utilizing combined vibration control and steel plate wall earthquake mitigation systems. ASF containment teams, under the direction of Regional Director Lao Shi, are to confiscate all glass material bearing the inscription Charta Corvus Co, and administer Class A amnestics to anyone who has had contact with the object. Confiscated items are to be replaced with non-anomalous facsimiles. Following Incident 041-A, geological records are to be modified to include the Tongshan fault line between the Amerindian Plate and the Eurasian Plate. The People's Committee for the Acquisition of Anomalous Objects is to be fed the cover story that the GOI, Church of Malthus, gave the glass's anomalous properties, presumably with the intention of killing people they find unfit. Description: Instances of RPC-041 are composed of glass and bear the inscription Charta Corvus Co in sans serif font, usually at the bottom of the object. The objects resemble various products traditionally made with glass, including windows, mirrors, cups, and dishes. The glass is unusually hard, with a Vickers pyramid number of 2300 HV, whereas normal tempered glass averages approximately 700 HV. RPC-041's anomalous properties manifest when the glass is broken. When the glass is broken, the area around the object experiences an abnormally high rate of accidents. Individuals within the range of an active instance of RPC-041 experience decreased motor control, slower reaction times, and inhibited complex reasoning. Subjects experiencing RPC-041's effects do not notice any change in their ability to perform complex tasks. However, observers outside of RPC-041's influence described them as acting erratic and intoxicated. Observers also noted that the speech of affected individuals is slurred and sometimes incoherent. These effects often result in subjects involuntarily inflicting damage on themselves and others. Testing has shown the severity of the effects increases linearly with the amount of additional surface area created by the breaking event. Furthermore, the duration of this effect is inversely related to the amount of surface area is created by the breaking event. A small break will manifest minimal effects over a long time, whereas an extreme break will result in highly exaggerated effects over a much shorter period. If the created surface area exceeds %, the object's original surface area, then the object will begin to influence the environment, as well as the people in its range. See Addendum 041-01 for the complete test log. The following has been classified Level 4. Addendum 041-2 Incident Report 041-A. Forward. This document was compiled by Site-04 archivists 1 month after the 041-A Examination Committee submitted its final analysis and was dissolved. No first-hand accounts of the incident are available, so the timing of events is approximated based on the findings of the Examination Committee. Incident Report 041-A. Location: Tongshan, Hebei, China. Date: July 28, 1976 through July 29, 1976. July 28, 1976. 1500. An electrical fire starts in a building adjacent to Charta Corvus's manufacturing plant. 1520. Charta Corvus manufacturing plant is evacuated. 1540. Firefighters arrive at the scene. 1550. Firefighters attempt to enter the facility through the windows due to the doors not being built to fire code standards. At this point, firefighters trigger the anomalous properties of RPC-041 while trying to enter the building. 1630. Firefighters stop attempting to enter the building. 1750. Individuals injured by the fire, and presumably themselves, under the influence of RPC-041, overwhelms the on-site triage unit. Firefighters begin loading the injured onto their vehicles. 1810. All response vehicles leave the scene to transport the injured to nearby. 1942. Charta Corvus manufacturing plant collapses, crushing an estimated 1,000 instances of RPC-041. Immediately after the building collapsed, an earthquake with a magnitude of 8.2 on the Richter scale began and lasted for 16 seconds. This earthquake led to additional instances of RPC-041 activating within a 150km radius around the Charta Corvus plant. 2356. MST Golf 1 is deployed to Area to assess the damages and evacuate any surviving personnel. July 29, 1976. 100 hours. The People's Liberation Army is deployed by the Chinese government to provide relief to nearby population centers. 301. MST Golf 1 arrives at Area 330. MST Golf 1 reports catastrophic damage to Area. No survivors found. 355. MST Golf 1 is tasked with accessing two other areas in the AoE. 2248. MST Golf 1 reports all areas are catastrophically damaged, with a 100% loss of life and assets. 2307. MST Golf 1 is recalled to Site-004. 2342. The People's Liberation Army attempted to demolish tower in Tongshang to prevent it from falling onto other nearby buildings. Tower was a 50-story residential complex and used approximately 1,000 panels of RPC-041 in its construction. The result of its demolition was an artificial aftershock of 7.1 magnitude on the Richter scale. Closing statement. Civilian casualties resulting from the event are estimated to be 650,000, with an additional 164,000 severely injured. Authority losses include Area and MST Golf 1. Following the incident, corporate oversight protocols have been amended to include more frequent and thorough inspections. Addendum 041-3. Recovered document from Charta Corvus after Incident 041-A. Forward. Document was partially burned during Incident 041-A. Document had been translated from Chinese to English. From C. Benson, Production Manager. To Efficiency Committee. Subject: in response to a memo regarding imminent bankruptcy. Illegible. Crew and I have been watching our stock sink lower and lower every year. Illegible. Few months ago in our spare time, we decided to play around with the parameters those Roberts Plastic and Ceramics guys licensed to us, to see if we could make the process a little more efficient. We found that some procedures that the license specifies don't seem to have any impact on the quality of the product. For illegible, same result, without the use of the expensive proprietary compounds, we've been illegible, removing steps through altogether, and reduce illegible. Achieve a cost savings of at least 20%, with no notable difference in quality. Addendum 041-4. A message from the Board. On the Research Commercialization Committee approved a hardened glass manufacturing technique specified in AMP-22108 for licensing to commercial entities. Anomalous manufacturing process. Charta Corvus was one of the companies this technology was licensed to. After several years of economic decline, Charta Corvus started to alter AMP-22108 to boost their profit margin. These alterations removed various safety measures which kept the glass from manifesting anomalous properties. Regular inspections failed to notice the change, and it went unnoticed by the Authority for years. On July 28, 1976, a fire started at the Charta Corvus production facility. This fire led to several instances of RPC-041 shattering simultaneously. What followed was one of the deadliest disasters in recent history. The research done by the Authority has applications in every field, and has the potential to benefit all of mankind. However, we must remain vigilant in our mission. The protection of the human race is primary, and anything that threatens it must be contained. This catastrophe is proof that anomalies and GOIs are not our most serotipous threat. Contain your hubris. Global Director